Alright, now we want to do a video on sentence combining, fixing choppy sentences, getting rid of useless words. Now, a simple sentence has what is called an independent clause. You know this: I walked, she and I walked, I got up, said goodbye, and walked out. All of these are what we call simple sentences, and the reason is because we have only one unit of subject and verb. This is one subject, one verb. This is two subjects together, one verb doing the same thing. This is one subject doing multiple things, got up, said goodbye, and walked out, but it's a single unit, okay? So that's what makes it a simple sentence. Simple sentences make a nice variation in paragraphs, but you don't want to use a lot of them in a row, especially not with repetition and useless words. For example, the tall man opened the class door, clear, to the point, no repetition, but when you say it like this, he was a tall man, the door was made of glass, he opened it, it sounds ridiculous and annoying and nobody wants to read that, so it should be made into that. Here's an example. You have, let's say, these three sentences. He is a tall boy, he sat down, he watched her throw a pitch. You've got he, right, all through it. He is described as a tall boy. Tall boy gives us more information than he, so if we're being asked to make this into one simple sentence, the way we do it is we say, the tall boy sat down and watched her throw the pitch. Right? That's how we make that into a nice, clean, simple sentence. A lot of times we need to use compound sentences because we need to describe the relationship between things. And this is what we do when the parts are equal. So the catcher made the signal is an important part of the sentence. The pitcher threw the fastball is an equally important part of the sentence. So these are both what we call independent clauses, because if you look at it, the catcher made the signal, that can stand alone as a sentence, as can the pitcher threw a fastball. Okay? So how do we make it a compound sentence? We use a comma and a word like and, nor, but, or, yet. So all of those are what are called coordinating conjunctions. Conjunction meaning they join things together. Co meaning that they're equal. Okay, so these are equal parts. The geese called their chicks, but the sounds were covered by jets overhead. So you can see that these are ways to make a compound sentence. So if we wanted to make these into a compound, scientists have invented solar ink. You can paint solar ink on your roof. You could say and, but and isn't really the best way to show the relationship between those because it looks like one is a result of the other. So instead of and, you'd use so. Scientists have invented solar ink, comma, so you can paint solar ink on your roof. Well, one of these days. The third type is the complex sentence. Now, when something is complex, it means that the parts are not equal. They're joined with what's called a subordinating conjunction. Conjunction, again, meaning something that joins two parts together. Sub meaning below, as in less important. And this lovely list, you probably want to make it your friend. You can go online any place, type up subordinating conjunctions and get this list. It's consistent everywhere you go. And these words make one part of the sentence dependent on the other. So if you look at it, you should read some sample sentences. That can stand alone as a sentence by itself. Begin combining sentences can stand as a sentence by itself. But when you bring in the word before, which is one of these subordinating conjunctions, right, there it is on the list. When you bring in the word before, you make this part of the sentence less important than this part. So it's got subordination, or making one part less important than the other. There's one other little trick I want to show you. Now, you'll notice that there's a comma in this sentence and not in this one, and that's for a very good reason. The dog shouldn't chase the 52 Ford pickup into the street. That's the main part of the sentence. This is what's important. If marks what's less important. If she wishes to avoid injury. Okay, that's the subordinate part. And it's in the natural order. We have what's most important first and what's less important coming after. Now, if you look at the structure of this sentence, before you begin combining sentences, that's less important, but it's been placed first. It's been given more importance by being placed first. And so readers need to know that the sentence is doing something different. So this comma right here is working a little bit like a neon sign to point to the main clause. All right. So these are the important things you need to know about combining sentences.